is a demo review for QaK on Viaduct for the first week of playoffs. Let's see what you guys do on mid. Do a good job of splitting up and going multiple directions as you're running in, and not all flooding through the same spot. You lose your sniper instantly, which is just always going to make it hard. Your soldier, I have no idea what he's doing. You guys are doing a good job of having everybody looking forward and shooting, and like not allowing them to walk across the point. And then here, you guys are all starting to push up together, your flanks pressuring tunnel, and your combos walking across the point. It's just a quality mid-fight by you guys. A good job of just being defensive and absorbing their soldier's attempted bomb. Yeah, all in all, just a good play there. Here, I don't know why your demo is so committed, and then your med manages to get to him. That's very good there. Then you guys instantly back up. You do a good job of sort of salvaging that strange aggression by your demo and getting everybody out alive for the most part. So that was a really good play there. It just looks like you guys have good positioning all around. You have people forward, not letting them get ground for free. Your spies focusing their sniper, and then you guys are just using that. Your med is taking notice of that and just being able to take point and play on aggressive on point. But there, you had nobody looking behind for a spy, and then your med dies for it. So when you have that many people forward, it's something that happens usually, is just the spy will come in, since there's so many places to decloak behind the rock, behind the bottom of the cliff. So oftentimes just like making sure your heavy is really aware of the spy and your pyro, just focusing on that will allow you to stay alive there. Because if you had survived, you were just looking at a nice solid hold that would have continued for longer. But spies are things that happen, so it's not that big of a deal. Here your demo was kind of alone there. That sort of opened him up for the spy again. So you could try having your flank sort of more blobbing with your combo and just sort of flooding in one area. That could be something to try, because pushing up onto this side alone is your flank versus their flank. The other team has the high ground and they have the sniper coverage, so usually it's not the best to just try to push into them right here. Oftentimes it can work pretty well to just sort of blob up and just flood in and just crush the enemy combo. Here you have no sniper and you have to pop early, and it's only your scout on the super. Usually if it's only the scout, it's not going to be the best. And then even if you're just trying to trade and then repush, you guys are all pretty low health. But you managed to get 4 picks off of that, so that was really good. And then your combo immediately knows to repush in off those picks. You guys don't waste time, your scouts didn't distract him, opening it up for your team to walk in. And you guys are all just on the same page and getting aggressive, your combo and your flank. That's something that DK can't do. Our flank likes to just sit over here and do nothing. But you guys transition immediately to the forward hold. You don't have any presence on the right though, so that's a pretty big issue. Because usually it only works if you have presence on cliff with your combo and then on right with your flank. You guys do a good job of getting out alive there. Here, since you have Uber, you could try playing more passively with your med, making sure med lives instead of being alone with only the demo, and then being in the sniper and spy sideline. So oftentimes when you have a big advantage, it's fine to just be passive, because they have to come to you, especially with a time advantage as well. And then once their med starts getting close, you can just scout demo Uber into them and push them back. So that's something to try. It's just sort of being more defensive when you have Uber, and just making sure you're not opening yourself up to picks, because as long as you have that Uber and you don't bleed players, you're going to be able to hold the point. And if you play passive, it'll just sort of draw them in, and then you'll be able to Uber into them more effectively. here, I don't know what that class is. Scout, I guess. Oh, the spy going in. Here your flank is doing a good job of pushing up. Your flank gets in, distracts their combo. I'd like to see your... Oh, your demo got picked there. But you do get the force, so that's good. But it's just only your heavy and med there, so that was kind of a misplay by you guys. You want to make sure you have more than just your heavy. Usually you want to have your pyro. But it seems to be playing more of a flank role for you guys, so maybe just trying to a little more together as a whole, so your med's safer there. That'll also help deal with the spy. Pyro's doing a good job of walking up, deflecting spam, making space for your team, but it looks like it's only your heavy going forward, and the rest of your team should have been trying to get in at the same time. That's something that DK struggles with a lot, is that I call a push and I'm the only person going forward, and then exactly stuff like that happens where we just sort of die one by one and the other team fights us all together. So maybe try playing closer around your medic, help them stay alive. Building a telly on rollout, usually not the best, because getting that mini or that level 1 built up quickly is usually better. I don't know of any plat NGs who build tellies on rollout, but if you guys tend to just crush on mids, I guess the telly could be good. Get your spawners back to mid quickly. Med does a good job of getting out alive there, because as long as you can just be alive and have your Uber up and your demo up, 3 push, you're in a pretty decent spot regardless if you have the point or not. Here you guys have to pop pretty early. Usually it can be good to try to get in farther before using, but the sniper's just staring at you, that's pretty hard. So if your spy is in a position to just like 102 them and then harass to sort of distract the sniper and so you can wipe in, that's something you should probably try to happen. Here you guys do a really good job of all getting aggressive onto the point. That's just quality play from you guys. You guys are listening to your calls and getting forward. Your medic could probably be playing more passive to make sure they don't get sniped or spied. Because just essentially the meta for Platinum at least is just to have a super passive medic to make sure they're always living. So just once you win the fight, can just back up, or even during the fight, just play as passive as possible when you're healing. It's just you surviving is such a huge deal as a medic. Here it seems like you guys are trying to contest, but you're down a few players, so it doesn't really work out that well. Just waiting for spawns. Again, you guys are doing a good job of just sort of walking up with your flank, pushing, and then using that distraction for your combo to get in. It's just every time you guys are pushing, you guys are doing a good job of that coordinated aggression. So far it seems like all your pushes have been really good, but your holds have maybe been too aggressive and sort of exposed your medic to dying. So I think if you guys play sort of more blobbed up when you're holding, and more with your med and just prioritize your med's life, you guys, like, honestly, like, with the way your pushes are going, you guys will probably be able to do pretty dang well. So oftentimes what you'll see in Platinum is the med will just be sort of hiding back here by the rock or hiding over here and just pocketing the sniper, letting the demo spam around the edge, and then the heavy can just be either on a cliff, watching for spies all in this area, and the pyro can just be covering this area for spies, and then you're essentially invulnerable as long as your demo and your sniper can sort of keep them out. So that's something you guys could try, just having a more passive setup and just sort of playing off your sniper. here they use early. Med lives. You guys do a good job of getting out with most of your players at least. Well, I mean your key players, Med and Demo. Your Med's probably a little too aggressive here behind house because there's not a whole lot of classes with him directly that can stop people rushing him, but they don't go in initially at least. And you deal with the soldier. And again, you guys are having your flank pressure on the right and then your combo walk in. So that's just, again, just quality pushes. Your Demo is pretty far forward alone there. Then he backs up and your flank rushes in. They're distracting you guys, instantly repush. It just looks like you guys have really good, just natural ability to play off each other. Med lives with 30 health. It's fine to just back up with a player and get a health pack here. You don't need to be there healing because you'll only be backing up for a pack for maybe 15 seconds at most. And then with a sniper there, there's no reason to be peeking that again. Just good by your Demo. Spy can probably call the sniper. There, again, it was just sort of like your Med and Demo only were the people behind point. And that really exposes you for a spy deck looking like right here. Or just back here and coming into your combo. So if your Pyro's going to be more of an aggressive sort of flank player, something your Heavy could try doing is just sitting behind this rock. It's something I did in Season 13. And it worked out incredibly to counter spies. You just sit here on the dispenser and you can just spray continuously, check everything and never get stabbed. I think in like 7 rounds it couldn't stab me once. You can just really shut down the spies effectively and then be able to contest point easily. So that's something you guys could try to do with the spies. Then you're also right next to the sniper if he's on rock to protect him. Here you guys have a lot of people forward and fighting at the same time, so it's just, you guys are just doing a good job for all your point pushes and fights. You just couldn't quite edge the point. You guys have huge numbers here, so you should try to get aggressive and just finish off these frags here. This mini is causing problems. But since you have numbers here, I guess you're all really hurt, but you guys are doing a good job of keeping forward presence on the point so they can't really walk in. And then you guys win the round. So usually, like, in those last few seconds, you want to try to be forward so they can't even get to point. I think your mid went quick fix, so that was good thinking by them. Just whenever there's not enough time to get an Uber or crits, quick fix is always the best. And even if there's maybe time for it, quick fix is still solid. Here your soldier does an aggressive bomb behind, distracts him. So that was the cue for your Demo to walk forward, but it looks like the rest of your team didn't really get aggressive at the same time. So if you guys try to focus your aggression of your whole team with your soldier's bomb, that's something that's worked for teams in Platinum a lot in the past, especially ET. They'd have Ricky bomb right over point, distract the team, and then their whole team would just flood across and crush people behind the point. So that's something you guys could try if your soldier wants to do those aggressive bombs. Otherwise, an option is just to sort of play the tunnel and spam and support your flank as a soldier, and then sort of try to absorb their aggression, similar to what you guys were doing on the first middle, where you guys are just sort of passive and everybody was looking forward and shooting them, and just sort of shut down anything they try to do. And then you can also spice it up with the soldier ROM and everyone surge forward. Just give you ways to counter an aggressive team by being passive, and a passive team by being aggressive. Here your Demo is just sort of alone forward. You guys were down a few people already, but it seems like in transitions maybe it is that your Demo is a little forward, getting picked a little bit too much. So just trying to tighten up around your Demo and Med I think would help your team. Your Scout could try to transition from more of a sort of a flank role to a combo Scout. That could probably help your Demo, being able to sort of clean up off the Demo's damage and just protect him against people rushing him. That's something to consider, because it seems like your flank is having no problem just sort of rushing in and making space. Assuming that was... Actually, I don't know. Your demo is really far forward. I was going to say maybe it was a suicide, but you guys had Uber. Regardless, it doesn't really matter if one person gets picked. You guys have all your players on the same page, ready to get aggressive. But yeah, if your med's gonna hold here, then heavy on cliff is solid. Can shut down the spy pretty effectively. If you guys want to hold behind the rock here, then having the heavy cliff is still viable. If the pyro is going to be sort of more defensive, but heavy behind the rock can be solid if your combo is going to hold behind the rock. Here they're just sort of starting to walk in, and you guys weren't able to really contest them that effectively. That's another thing with heavy being on the cliff. Can't really, especially if the sniper's on the right, but regardless, like, it's very hard to peek and actually fight the point if you're up here. It just seemed like that hold, you didn't have enough forward presence. You guys are a more passive setup, which is fine, but when you're doing that, you need your flank and your combo to be ready to shoot people as they push. Here you get a pick on their sniper, so this would be a pretty good chance to dry push, and just have your pyro with your medic ready to back out once you get the force. Especially now that you have 3 picks, you guys can just try walking in straight away, and you actually drop their medics, so you guys just start walking in immediately here. Maybe you're waiting for your demo to respawn, not sure, but seems like you guys could have gotten aggressive a little sooner than that. Since you have so many picks, your med really should be playing defensive here and making sure the med's alive and not dying. Looks like the med will die here. Lives for now, but when you have a Uber advantage, just like, you really need to prioritize your med's life. And it's fine if you're being passive here and like not even peeking at all, because you can still heal people who are pretty much on the point fighting, but you don't have to risk your own life. Looks like your flank was down there and your NG was sort of back upgrading stuff, so the NG could walk through tunnel and get onto your med there. So that's just something similar to what we have problems with on DK, is people bleed and other people are just passive for no reason, and then the other team can walk in for free. It's just making sure that when you're holding, you have everyone forward and denying them from walking in, because that'll just crush other teams. Here with so many picks and 60% Uber, Med does a good job of just running away. Because living there and being able to repush with the super advantage, this is going to be a very good play. And here, since you're close to Uber, you really needed someone to meet up with your meds sooner than that. That's something you guys should try to prioritize. And then also, just right now, just making sure you don't bleed players, and you just try to have everyone alive and ready to push in a moment. They're almost, just got almost dies, which would hurt your Uber. Then your sniper dies, which will hurt your sort of post-fight. You get forced early by a pyro, so that wasn't the best, but you do manage to kill their heavy. You're getting kills, looks like it's definitely in your favor. But you really need to make sure you're getting aggressive quickly and sort of using your numbers here. In this situation, your demo's on them, so hopefully your flank gets aggressive too. It looks like everybody on your team is just like passive behind the point, like your soldier, your NG, like they're not helping. They're just sort of baiting your medic and your demo there. That's something that DK does every time, which you guys weren't really doing for the most part. So just trying to make sure that when you need to commit to point, you're actually fully committing to the point. So that'll allow you to just lock down those rounds. Demo bomb's aggressive, which is fine to do. Usually most teams don't do that, but it works for some if their demo's good at rolling out and getting those early stickies. Here, I don't know where your flank is. Your scout's passive. Your soldier's behind distracting, so that's fine, but just need to make sure people are more cognizant of the tunnel there, because the soldier is just getting free spam, which is very, very strong. And here you get a bunch of kills, but it seems like there's a fairly long delay before you actually sort of walk up and take the point. That's something QaD does really well, is that as soon as they get the numbers and the picks, they just make sure they cap the point immediately, and those 5-10 seconds every point exchange really adds up. Here the sniper is just so far forward, completely alone, free to kill if people walk forward into him. But he lives for some reason. Here you do a good job of forcing them early, but here you really should just be using back into them. You don't usually want to wait until you lose 3 players. Oftentimes it's fine to just go back into them almost immediately, so you don't lose players or positioning. Here the pyro is just allowed to just M1 into your combo. Something we could try there is just countering sooner, so you guys are at full health still and don't lose players, and then you're able to actually use the Uber and win the post fight. It seemed like you guys were just too low on health and numbers to really finish off the post fight there. Seems like he is just sort of waiting for Uber. Oftentimes in those situations you want to just be pocketing your sniper really heavily so they can get kills. Do a good job of killing their sniper, so you should try to be able to walk up without using on just your demo and your scout. You guys get pretty far forward, but it looks like you popped earlier than you needed to. Your med was at 130, demo was full health, so I think you guys could have waited to use there since the sniper was dead. Here you do a good job of sort of getting players forward to fight, but demo goes down, a few other players go down, but he managed to sort of play together and clean it up. There your demo just sort of went in mostly alone. You can still do a pretty decent job of holding and spamming them out as they're pushing, and you can definitely slow them down quite a bit, and if you hit your shots, your flank hits your shots, and then your sniper gets the kill, like, you can hold it without a medic. It's definitely doable, so instantly suiciding is not always the best option. Here with them on crits as well. Ooh, your med barely lives. And their med goes too far forward, dies. So you guys should just wait for your spawns, then repush with heals. Everyone should just be trying to live right now. Instead your pyro's going in, your stripper dies over there. Seems like you guys could have been more defensive and wait for the right opportunity to push. You have full advantage. Their demo's dead, so you should be able to try to get in without easing. But here you pop early. Probably didn't need to pop there again, because now they're just going to have advantage. Because they were already pretty passive and they didn't have a demo to spam you guys. So I guess just trying to take point without using when you have advantage and you have picks, that's something you guys could improve on. So making sure you're tight and all forward and focusing down the targets, and only use if you really need to. But at the same time, like, you don't want to be dropping people. Seems like the spy has been like the main reason why you guys are struggling at the moment. It's killing your med in your demo, and your heavy and like Ubers quite a bit. Maybe not just raw number of times, but he's killing your combo at the right times. So they're trying to have your heavy or your pyro more dedicated to spy checking, or just trying to commit to a more passive hold, where your heavy is just behind the rock, just shutting down the spy. There, the demo goes down. It's pyro just M1 again. It just seems like your team is a bit split up here. Again, here it was just sort of people going in one at a time, and then your combo sort of dying to people cliff. So you guys just try to clean up your pushes and just make sure you're not using when you don't need to, and you're trying to focus more on the spy. I think you guys can do quite a bit better by just locking down the spy especially, and then just making sure people are tighter around your medic. Just making sure the med doesn't go down, because being on the medic means you can get healed and use the heals to fight people, and your med's alive for have more Ubers. But overall, it just seems like small things to clean up. You guys are doing a good job of being coordinated together, and when you're pushing, especially in the earlier rounds, you're doing a really good job of that. Just seemed like the spy got a few stabs at the key moments and stopped you guys. But you guys look pretty dang solid on this map. Best of luck.